There's a specific kind of confusion that messes with people more than rejection ever could. And it's not when someone clearly isn't interested, it's when you're convinced that they are because the signals seem obvious. We're going to talk about the signs, what to look for, and what you should know. What you learn here isn't common knowledge and it will change the way you see everything. Welcome to Decoded with Liz Rose. Let's begin. The behavior looks promising. The energy feels charged, and yet nothing actually ever happens. And you're left replaying every interaction, wondering whether you imagined it, misread it, or somehow ruined something that never even existed in the first place. That confusion is where most people get stuck, and it's also where most attraction advice completely fails because it teaches people to look for the wrong signals. Today, I want to talk about the attraction signals people mistake for interest that actually mean the opposite, because this is where so many men especially get it wrong. Not because they're clueless, but because they're reading signals through hope instead of through psychology. And if you've ever thought, but she was smiling, or they were texting me every day, or we had a deep conversation, or there was definitely chemistry and yet nothing progressed, this is going to explain exactly why. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is assuming that warmth equals attraction. It doesn't. Warmth is a social behavior and attraction is a directional one. A person can be warm, friendly, emotionally open, even flirtatious without any genuine pull towards you at all. Socially confident people, emotionally expressive people, and people who just enjoy attention, they'll often generate a lot of warmth by default. They smile easily, they laugh readily, they ask questions, they make eye contact, and if you're not careful, your brain fills in the rest of the story. Psychologically, this happens because the human brain is wired to seek coherence. When we see behavior that feels positive, we instinctively assign meaning to it. The problem is that attraction isn't signaled by positivity alone, it's signaled by investment. And this is where most misreads begin. Someone can enjoy talking to you without wanting you. They can enjoy your attention without wanting to move closer to you. And they can enjoy the validation without wanting intimacy. And when that happens, the signals that you're reading aren't attraction signals at all. They're comfort signals. Another commonly misread signal is responsiveness. People assume that fast replies, long conversations, or frequent messaging mean interest. In reality, responsiveness often signals availability, boredom, or a desire for stimulation, not attraction. Some people are simply responsive communicators and others just enjoy the dopamine hit of attention. Others are lonely. Others like the emotional connection without physical or romantic risk. Attraction psychologically tends to create tension, not ease. When someone's genuinely attracted, their behavior often becomes less smooth, not more. They might respond more slowly, not because they don't care, but because they're regulating themselves. They might say less, not more. They might pull back slightly after moments of closeness. These are the signals that most people miss because they're looking for enthusiasm instead of regulation. Another signal that people misread constantly is emotional disclosure. Deep conversations are not the same as desire. Emotional openness can create intimacy without attraction. And in fact, many people are far more emotionally open with people that they don't want romantically because there's no risk there. They can talk freely without worrying about where it's going. When someone shares their trauma, their fears, their vulnerabilities, it doesn't necessarily mean that they want you. It just means that they feel safe enough to use you as a container. And this is where a lot of men get trapped. They confuse emotional access with romantic access. Psychologically, this happens because men often bond through problem solving and emotional support. When a woman opens up, a man's brain reads that as closeness and progress. But for many women, emotional disclosure is not a precursor to attraction. It's a byproduct of comfort. And comfort without polarity does not lead to desire. Another signal that people misinterpret is physical proximity without escalation. So sitting close, leaning in, touching an arm, or maintaining long eye contact, that can all feel like attraction, but the context really matters. If those behaviors are not followed by a movement towards being exclusive, prioritization, or escalation, they're not attraction signals. They're social bonding behaviors. Real attraction, that creates momentum. It doesn't hover indefinitely. When attraction is present, behavior changes over time. When it isn't, behavior stays pleasant, but it stays static. This is really one of the most important distinctions that people miss. Static warmth is not attraction. Dynamic progression, that is. Another huge misread signal is jealousy. People assume that if someone seems jealous, they must care. But jealousy often has nothing to do with desire and everything to do with control or validation. A person can feel possessive over attention they don't want to lose, even if they don't want you necessarily. Psychologically, this is driven by ego threat, not attraction. They don't want you with someone else because it removes their access to validation. not because they want to build something with you. And this is why jealousy without commitment is a red flag, not a green light. Another commonly misread signal is mixed signals themselves. People assume that mixed signals mean internal conflict or hidden attraction, and sometimes they do, but far more often, mixed signals mean ambivalence. And ambivalence is not attraction. Attraction simplifies behavior, whereas ambivalence complicates it. When someone's attracted, their nervous system moves towards clarity, not confusion. When someone's unsure or using the interaction for emotional regulation, their behavior kind of oscillates. They lean in when they want connection and pull away when they feel pressure. This creates intermittent reinforcement, which is incredibly addictive to the human brain. Your brain starts chasing resolution. You think, if I just do the right thing, it'll click. But psychologically, you're not responding to attraction, you're responding to uncertainty. Now, another signal that people misread is consistency without depth. Someone who shows up regularly, checks in, keeps conversations going, but never deepens intimacy or moves towards shared experiences is not signaling attraction. They're signaling routine. Attraction seeks expansion. It wants to move the relationship forward. When someone keeps you in a conversational loop without progression, it's because the connection is just serving them as it is. Moving forward would disrupt the benefit that they're getting. Another subtle misread is politeness. Polite people often get mistaken for interested people. They don't want to be rude and they don't want to reject directly. They don't want to create awkwardness. So what they do is they stay friendly, engaged, and pleasant. The problem is that politeness often masks disinterest. And if you're not attuned to that, you'll keep interpreting courtesy as encouragement. Real attraction doesn't require politeness to sustain itself. It tolerates awkwardness. It pushes through uncertainty. Another misread signal is effort without sacrifice. Someone might put in effort that costs them nothing, replying when it's convenient, seeing you when there's nothing better to do, engaging when they're bored. But attraction introduces cost. When someone's attracted, they'll rearrange their priorities. They'll make space for you. They invest time when it's inconvenient. If effort never costs them anything, it's not desire, it's just convenience. One of the most painful misreads is when someone mirrors your energy. They laugh when you laugh. They open up when you open up. They lean in when you lean in. This feels like chemistry, but mirroring is often unconscious social bonding, not necessarily attraction. Many people mirror because it creates rapport. Skilled communicators do this naturally. Attraction has to go beyond just mirroring. It introduces initiative. The other person starts setting the tone instead of just responding to yours. Another signal that people mistake for attraction is familiarity. When someone feels easy to talk to, familiar and comfortable, it can feel like something meaningful. But familiarity often comes from shared personality traits, not desire. And familiarity without tension just becomes friendship. Attraction contains an element of uncertainty, not anxiety, but charge. And when that charge is missing, no amount of comfort will create it. Another thing people misread is attention during scarcity. So when someone gives you a lot of attention during a lonely period in their life, you might assume it's attraction, but when their circumstances change, that attention usually disappears. That tells you that attention was filling a gap, not moving towards you. Psychologically, humans seek connection when resources are low. That doesn't mean that they're choosing you, it just means that you were available. Another subtle misread is future talk without follow through. Someone might talk about plans, trips, or hypothetical scenarios with you. That feels really promising, but future talk without behavioral alignment is fantasy, not intention. Think of it like this: attraction motivates action, not imagination. Another misinterpretation is sexual tension without pursuit. So sexualized banter, teasing, or innuendo can feel like attraction, but often it serves as stimulation without the risk. Some people just enjoy the charge without wanting the responsibility of it progressing. Just remember this: attraction doesn't linger in limbo, it moves. The core psychological mistake underlying all of these misreads is this: people confuse emotional availability with romantic intent. Emotional availability is about being open. Romantic intent is about direction. One can exist without the other, and when you learn to separate the two, attraction becomes much clearer. Real attraction, it simplifies behavior. It reduces ambiguity over time, and it introduces consistency, progression, and cost. The signals that people misread are the signals that feel good in the moment but go nowhere. And the reason that these misreads are so painful is because they create false hope. Your brain fills in the gap and you start investing emotionally. You imagine potential, and when nothing materializes, it just feels like rejection and it feels like a loss. But in reality, what you lost was an imagined future, not an actual one. Understanding this changes how you relate to attraction entirely. You can stop chasing signals that soothe your ego and start paying attention to the signals that indicate movement. And here's the most important part. When you stop misreading these signals, you become much more attractive yourself because you stop over-investing in people who are not moving towards you. You stop rewarding ambivalence and you stop mistaking comfort for desire. And that shift alone recalibrates how others respond to you. Attraction isn't hidden, it's directional. And when you know what to look for, confusion will disappear. Our time has come to an end. Keep this between us. The world doesn't need to know our secrets. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.